More than 700 Israelis are now feared dead after unprecedented attacks by Hamas militants. It represents the biggest loss of life in a single day in Israeli history.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has declared war on Hamas after the Gaza-based militant group launched an unprecedented surprise attack on Saturday.
אזרחי ישראל, אנחנו במלחמה. לא במבצע, לא בסבבים, במלחמה. הבוקר חמאס פתח במתקפת פתע רצחני נגד מדינת ישראל ונגד אזרחיה.
Prime Minister Modi expressed his support for Israel during a call with his counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu amid reports of Hamas rocket strikes on Israeli cities.
Aligarh Muslim University, a march was carried out in solidarity with Palestine.
For the past few weeks, ever since Hamas initiated the terrorist attack against Israel, since then, the entire social media has been flooded with posts in favor of Israel and in favor of Palestine. India is not an exception for this. People throughout India have been putting up posts both in favor of Israel and Palestine. We can see that there is an increase in polarization between two sections of people who are speaking pro-Palestine and pro-Israel. So in this video, let's examine which country should India support. Should it support Israel or should it support Palestine? We will understand this question by analyzing the historical facts and what serves India's interest. The story of this video dates back to 600 BC. It was during this time that Jews, who were largely native to the Middle East and Eastern Europe, began to experience persecution from different religious communities. Over a period of time, the Jews, who were largely concentrated in the Middle East Asian region, expanded throughout Europe. Jews were spread across Europe and Middle East were subjected to religious persecution, which were called as anti-Semitism, Europe and Middle East. This religious persecution reached its peak during the World War II, which historians call it as Holocaust. So during the Holocaust, the Nazis of Germany, led by Hitler, detained Jews in detained camps and killed more than 2 million people, which is still now considered as the largest genocide in the world. When the Jews were persecuted all across the world, India was one of the very few countries that welcomed Jews with open arms. They were given the freedom to practice their religious belief without any interferences or forced conversions. Jews, even now, if you go to different parts of Kerala, Mumbai and West Bengal, you can find Jewish communities. This historical factor of giving accommodation to the Jews who were persecuted all across the world lays the foundation of India-Israel relations. So, in the 19th century, there was a popular movement among Jews called as Zionism. The Jews all around the world became a part of this movement. The aim of this movement was to establish an independent state for Israel. They believe that unless they have an independent state for Jews, they will continue to face this persecution all across the world. In the First World War, the Ottoman Empire was defeated by the Britain and its allies. As a result of this, Britain took control over the regions that were earlier administered by the Ottoman Empire. Since then, the British government were in favor of establishing an independent state for in and around Palestine. The reason is Palestine and the surrounding region is considered to be the beginning of the Jewish community. In 1947, the United Nations approved a partition plan where the Palestine region was to be divided into Israel, which was to be comprised of the Jewish community, and Palestine, which was to be comprised of the native Arabic communities, and Jerusalem, which was of religious significance for both the Jews, Christians and Arabic people, was to be administered by the United Nations. Even though the Arabic countries did not accept it, the Jews in 1948 declared the establishment of the independent state of Israel in 1948. When the people of Israel declared the establishment of the state of Israel, majority of the United Nations members approved it and officially recognized it. However, India recognized only in 1950. Anyhow, since then, the relationship between the India and Israel has been steadily growing. So since 1960s, Israel began to assist India with state-of-the-art technologies in the defense field. It provided India with advanced weapons system, which included missile, aircraft, and in the field of defense, Israel has supported India by providing India with state-of-the-art technologies. Israel has supported India in terms of intelligence gathering, intelligence sharing, counterterrorism. Israel has always been one of the very few countries that supported India in its anti-terrorism operations. Israel has helped India by sharing critical information about terrorist operations. Even during the 26/11 Mumbai attack, Israel played a major role in assisting India to kill all those terrorists, especially after the Kashmiri terrorist growth in the 1980s and 1990s. Israel helped India by providing training to the armed personnel in anti-terrorism operations, in intelligence gathering, intelligence sharing. And another important area in which Israel has been largely supportive of India is agricultural development. Okay, till now almost 50% of India's agricultural land is rain-fed, okay, which means that this 50% of the land do not have any kind of irrigation system. Okay, they are largely dependent on the monsoon rainfall. So since 1990, Israel has been helping India with different forms of agricultural technology. It has been directly engaging with the Indian Council of Agricultural Research and has been in the forefront of transferring different agricultural technologies and also developing new agricultural technologies along with India. It was largely responsible for the development and the distribution of the drip irrigation system in India, which has been largely responsible for the success of agricultural production in rough prone areas, especially in the states of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh. Other than this, it has helped in the development of hydroponics, which is soilless agriculture, aeroponics, cultivation of plants without soil and water,